Super Art ready.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is SuperArt7, and this is a video series that I am introducing. So what I will be attempting to do here is show off both a piece of artwork / illustration of a character from a video game, and also showing footage of myself playing with said character in a video game. Majority of these will be Capcom related, some not. So I'll be having like footage from PS5, also from games like possibly like Ninja Gaiden, Stellar Blade, Bloodborne, things like that. I'm basically trying to just share my love of art and my love of gaming, and I figured, well, I can combine this by drawing some characters that I like, since I'm trying to get more into doing fan art, and having a motivation to actually continue to just do the fan art. So I figure, well, shit, I could play a game and show off the character that I'm also drawing. So in this first video, I got the idea to do Morrigan from Darkstalkers, and I set up my phone on a tripod, and as you can see, it's like over the shoulder. I actually have a Astro City cap with a CPS2 Darksoft, so I have all the CPS2 Capcom games in it. So a lot of the footage I will record directly off the arcade cabinet, because I sort of want the similar feel where you can see my hands pushing the buttons, moving the joystick, the same way you can see me drawing, going over my rough sketch, and then obviously doing the inking, like the fine lines later on in the video. I will in the future make sure that for the drawing that it's on my left side. I kind of had the camera position on my right side, and like my hands obviously a little more in the way, so you can't always kind of see the picture clearly. So that's something that'll be a work in progress. But yeah, this was just an idea I got that I thought would be cool. I don't think I've seen anybody do something similar to this on YouTube. I'm going to play around with the layout a little bit more, and hopefully get something that I can show off me drawing and playing the game clear enough that it makes sense and that it makes for some good content. Also, as you see, I've kind of drawn myself on the lower left hand part of the screen playing a game. That's also something I'm working on, adding more sort of pictures like that off to the side, just to kind of make the composition of the video a little more interesting, at least in my eyes. I kind of have my own little idea of how I want this thing to look. I don't really care if it makes a lot of sense to everybody. It just looks cool to me and does something that sets me apart from the rest of the YouTubers. My history with fighting games goes all the way back to the original Street Fighter 2. I played that in the arcade when I was like 7, and I fell in love and basically been a Capcom fanboy ever since. Playing Mega Man, played Strider, I played Final Fight. Darkstalkers, oddly enough, I never got to see it at any of the arcades that I played in growing up in Detroit. But I did get to play 3 on PS1 years and years later when it was ported, and obviously we know it's not like the best port. Years later I ended up getting it. Had a Japanese copy of Darkstalkers collection that came out in Japan on PS2, and then I also had the PSP version, the Chaos Tower, which had all the games on it. So I've always been a fan of the game. But yeah, I never got to play it much in the arcades. They just never had it. They had all the other big games, Marvel vs. Capcom, they had CVS2, they had the Alpha games. But they never had like Darkstalkers. I would always see it in like GamePro or EGM, and just never got to really play it. So finally buckling down a few years ago and getting me a arcade cabinet, and then getting a CPS2 board to have all the games was kind of a dream come true. I have all like some of my favorite games at my fingertips. I do have an actual standalone separate board for Vampire Hunter. That's my favorite version because it has Donovan. who I did do some artwork for last year or 2 years ago. And obviously this was before I recorded, so I may do another one and then do a run with him. But yeah, I do plan to do a lot of Capcom games. I have some Cammy art and some Chun-Li art in the tuck. Some of it is already kind of pre-drawn because I did those before I came up with this idea, whereas Morrigan, when I got the idea to do Morrigan, it was also right around the time I got the idea to record and then do the gaming thing on the side. So I will still record footage for Chun-Li and Cammy, who are going to be like the next ones, because I can just record footage from Alpha 2 and Alpha 3 off my CPS board or whatever in the arcade cabinet. And I do want to show as much of my drawing process as possible. I can't promise that every picture will be from start to finish, because some of them I have to remind myself to record, and sometimes I get so caught up that I'll look up and I'll be ready to do the dark lines, the finer lines, whereas like the current work I'm doing right now is just like still sketching what I want the main line art to look like. And even that is slightly rough, but somewhat refined. And as you see here now, I'm working just on the line art itself, like the dark lines. So I'm changing the opacity, and then I'm going to go over this one again. And these are like the fine details and lines, the black lines or whatever like that, right? And also, this is the angle that I want to use from start to finish. So I want to make sure, as you see, I'm not obstructing the screen as much as I was in the last two, but while you could see it, it's a little better this way. So this is what I want to do going forward. So I want to make sure in the future to record from this angle. And yeah, I won't talk for the majority or for the entirety of this video, but the other ones I would like to, if possible. But this was just a short intro into the series, and I want to continue this in the future. Like I said, I think it's a cool idea and gives me some motivation. I do have this really big ass Third Strike art that I'm doing with like all the characters on it. It's all sketched out to like the sort of red and blue kind of sketched lines. Like I just haven't gone over any of it with black like I'm doing with this one. That might be a really long video. So, and I do need to get some Third Strike footage recorded. I'm not super nice at Third Strike. I can hold my own against some of these monsters out here in SoCal, but I wouldn't necessarily. I'm not looking to enter Evo anytime soon to run Third Strike. I did get to play a little bit in Japan recently when I went back in September with my son, and I actually got to play some Vampire Hunter 2 over there, and I was cooking with Donovan. They wasn't ready for my Donovan over there in Tokyo. I got absolutely fucking smoked in CVS 2 though. Those guys at GameSpot Versus were no joke. So I need to go hit up my man Silent Scope at Don's Arcade one of these Fridays and get some sets in and get the ring rust off on the CVS, man, because they cooked your boy real good over there. Even my son was like, bro, you got cooked. I couldn't even. Yeah, I had to go back to the hotel room and like put the Dreamcast emulator on and run some sets. I'm like, man, I gotta get good again. They cooked me out here, man. Japan, they was no joke. But yeah, I did get to play Vampire Savior and Vampire Hunter at Mikado, just outside of Shinjuku, and yeah, it was a good time. It was definitely a good time. I definitely want to get back to Japan and play some more games. That was like super fun, and it was a dream to just get to play in an arcade in Japan and play some of my favorite games. Even my son got a little win streak against the computer in ST, which, you know, that's no easy feat because ST's computer is cheap. He got about 3 CPU characters beat, and then Cammy just gave him some trouble. He was running Zangief or whatever. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm gonna let the rest of it play out and you can kind of see the process. The Chun-Li video, she's already drawn all the way out to the black lines. So I think for her video, I will just show the coloring process a little more in depth of how I lay the colors down in the shadows. And that'll be that video. Cammy will probably start at this part of the process right here, which I would consider like the third part, which is the black lines, because she's already sketched out. I have two versions of Cammy standing next to each other. I have the Delta Red, and then I have the Killer Bee version from Alpha. So it's doing like a tribute to both of her costumes. So that's what I got down the pipeline. If you guys like this, if y'all got any suggestions on like how I can make the videos look better just from a presentation standpoint in terms of the angle, just let me know. Especially if you draw and you've recorded yourself. Just some tips on getting, you know, maybe better clarity, picture quality on the screen. I would appreciate it. Like I say, I'm always looking to improve, especially on my art. It's been something I've done since I was a kid. I did go to art school out here in California. I graduated from Otis a couple years ago, back in 2018. And I focused in illustration and graphic design. So I got real well versed in using the digital tablet and all that stuff. Before that I was just strictly in sketchbooks and traditional. I may also do some videos where I just draw in the sketchbook and just do some rough sketches and things like that. I think people like those processes too. So I definitely want to be as versatile as possible, and show just different stuff. Like I don't always want to do the digital. I still like to draw traditionally, whether it's a rough sketch or something fully, you know, kitted from top to bottom. Yeah, so that's kind of the idea that I have for these videos, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just gonna do some more and just have some fun with it. Like I said, if you guys like this, you know, hit the subscribe button, you know, show me some love, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.